from different cities and countries, I can understand. Okay. Oh, I forget to create a Kubernetes cluster. Again, I need to create. Anyway, meanwhile, I will explain the concepts cluster will create. Not now, not now. I told you, right? I will show. Yeah, it's a cloud behavior. Understand? Let me launch a server. So quickly, I'll do the process now. So guys, if you can see the example here, I'm showing you here. So, oh, excuse me. So, yeah, are you able to see my screen, right? Yeah. If you can see, this is Wells Fargo interview questions. So one of the, a big company, one of the top company, banking sector, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan. So third round of interview, 7:30 AM student only. Whatever question they ask, all discuss. Not even single question I skip. I mean single topic, not question. Not even skip single topic here. Understand? But I can say that this is a very moderate, basic to moderate level questions. But I discuss moderate, basic to moderate to advanced level. If they want to ask the questions too difficult also, whoever follow my sessions, they're able to answer these questions. All are discussed. Not even single question, not even single topic I skip. Understand? First focus here. So if you can see the questions, Docker and Kubernetes 30% questions, Terraform is 30% questions. As I said, same weightage. One of the best company, a big company, Amazon, Microsoft, any company you can go, questions, concepts are same only. So role attaching here to create a cluster. Okay, I have attached role to my server. So what I can do now? Okay, I need to modify SJ rules. So write in your notes the Kubernetes architecture, working process. Very important. One question is common. What is control manager, controller, what is proxy? They may ask the questions. Now refresh. Okay, So first what I need to do, install the required dependencies. Okay, install required dependencies. That means installations. So ekctl kubectl I need to install first. This is already discussed yesterday, right? After that, install ekctl. Let me install ekctl. After that, create a cluster. Let's give a different name. So I'm giving a different name. You can give region US East 1. I'm giving node size is t2 dot small. I'm giving till here clear, right? Let's go to the concept now. Guys, any questions on work node components, deployment.yaml, pod.yaml, replicas.yaml? Any questions from anyone? What is the main benefits if I use deployment.yaml? Huh? Rolling updates. If you use replica set, self-healing scalability. So pods inside containers. See this architecture. So this is control plane. So this is worker nodes. I'm interacting from any one of the server to control node, kubectl. So this is taken care by worker nodes. So kubeproxy is the component to give access to external. Okay. So today I'm going to start services concept, a very, very important concept in Kubernetes. So we have three types of services at this time. One is cluster IP, load balancer, node port. Okay, let's get started now. Kubernetes services concept. Please spend everyday time, a very, very important tool for DevOps engineers. So whoever following the recording, stop your recording and please start Kubernetes. If you are lag somewhere, stop it. We can plan later. First, concentrate on ongoing topic, Kubernetes. So services, we have three types of services. One is node port service, and second is cluster IP service, and the third is node port service, load balance service, cluster IP service. So here, node port means what? For example, let's take a copy this architecture. Okay. So external user accessing this pod, right? External users accessing this pod. Yeah. Let's take this. If external user want to access your application running inside a pod, we can use a services to give access. So node port means you can access node port. means container, we have already given port forwarding, right, in Docker time, local host container target port, same concept kind of thing. Node port means access through node IP, access through node IP plus port number, node IP and port number. Clear now? Load balance service type, user can access through load balance. Clear? Cluster IP only for internal communication. Internal communication means what? One port to other port. So our project is there, right? 3-tier. Front end, back end, database. Front end. Front end. Which type of service should I use here to access front end from external? Load balancer or node port. Front end to back end, cluster IP is enough. Clear what I'm trying to say? Front end to back end is a internal communication. Cluster IP is fine. Load balancer is a external communication. Load balancer you can use. This is called services. Load balancer is a service. Node port also service. Cluster IP also service. But node port is a development time we can use for easily access. But production environment, I mean, if you give access to someone public, definitely we can use load balance only, not node port. Even it's not security also by sharing the IP of the node. Clear? That too, node port means public IP disable means, for example, node port not work right from external, so load balancer only work. Clear the differences now? Okay. So internal to internal, pod to pod, this is cluster IP. Clear concept? Okay. And here now guys, a very important thing, let's take now. So service, we should create a service.yaml separately. For example, this is pod.yaml. This is my pod.yaml. If you want to give this pod access to external, what I should do? Create a service. Service first. Which service we can discuss? That service, how to create? Through YAML file only. So what I should do? Create a service YAML file to give a this pod access. In this case, the service.yaml you can create like this. You can write a service.yaml. I mean, one YAML file inside, you can define pod.yaml, service.yaml. If you want to create a two YAMLs in same file, give a 3 lines and start your work. Or simply close this, create one more YAML, service.yaml. Understand? The two definitions you can add in a single file or separate files. Single files means you need to give it 3 lines and start service.yaml to write here. One YAML file, test.yaml file, if you apply means deployment.yaml will run, service.yaml will run. Clear? And a very important thing, let's take a service.yaml, for example, node port. Okay? Okay, otherwise what I'm going to do now, let's take here, easily I will explain, wait. Yeah. So if you can see, let me take here. So service.yaml, any YAML file start from API version, right? So this is also V1. Kind is what? Service. And metadata means what? Name of the service. You can give metadata entry. Specifications, main specifications for what service? Load balancer or cluster IP or node. Technical entries. Specifications are what here? Load balancer type. Selector is what? Web app type frontend. How many labels are there here? Selector labels are 2. Clear or not? Next, ports and these ports. I will explain port concept. Wait. Now you can see selectors are app, web app, type frontend. See, my pod.yaml labels are what? App, web app, type frontend. The service and pod, the condition is should match at least single label. Same like a replica set. Okay. Replica set pod, the condition is what? Label should be match at least single label. Replica set label or pod label. Now this is service. Single pod I'm creating, the single pod access I'm giving through this service load balancer. How service will communicate this pod? Based on the labels. Here, my pod label, service label match or not? Match. What? App, web app, type frontend. At a single label should match. You can remove type frontend from here, no problem. Understand what I'm trying to say here? So the condition, one more time I'm saying, how service will communicate to pod. If they ask this question in interview, based on the labels. Okay, write in your notes. Again, tomorrow don't ask, sir, how service will communicate and all. That's what I'm saying that. Okay. Pool. So ports concept, just leave it now. After 15 minutes, I will discuss practical time. Clear now how service will communicate with the pod based on the labels. For example, if it is a replica set, if it is a replica set, okay, what I'm trying to say, understand the concept. I'm taking a replica set. You tell me, my service label should match with replica set label or pod label? Huh? Think and say that. A very simple logic here. You are missing here. My service label should match with replica set labels or pod labels. Pod labels means replica set contains pod also, right? I'm talking about this. These labels are pod labels. Okay. Many of you guys saying that pod labels. Okay, leave it for service now, for time being. Replica set label, pod label should match or not? Then why you are saying pod only? Replica set, pod label, both are different means. Definitely we can think either pod labels or replica set labels. First, replica set pod condition we can check. Replica set pod condition is what? Label should be matched, right? In this case, the label is pod label or replica set label. Anything is fine or not? Yeah. At least one. Excellent. So your service label should match with replica set labels. Automatically replica set label should match with pod labels. So process will work. Clear now? Yeah. What about deployment? What about deployment? Just here, difference will come. Deployment only. Clear or not? Same process, no difference. Clear YAML file, how to understand? Yeah, the logic, if you find out, the very easy process for understanding YAML file. Yeah. Let's wait and check. Okay, still it is running. Let's understand a very, very important understanding ports. Yeah, see, replicas 3 is there, right? Deployment, see, that we'll discuss horizontal pod auto scaling. The coming topic. Automatically pods will increase when the load will increase. This is static one. Okay, I'll explain. Yeah, let's focus on these ports now. Okay, so guys, you need to remember in Kubernetes service concepts talks about 3 port numbers. Completely 3 ports. Okay, control A. See, ChatGPT we can use easily to validate the, you know, the AML files. That's what I'm saying. You can say give validate. Simple. The minor issue is deployment spelling is wrong only. Okay, so let's go and delete under here. Okay. So this is load balancer, right? The service talks about total 3 ports. One is port, target port, and node port. Okay, let's explain now the architecture. Okay, meanwhile, we'll see which port number it is. Node port. Request is entering to node port. And next is what? Load balancer. Next is what? Okay, this is ingress. I will discuss in the ingress concept. Let's move to here now. Very important, guys. Here, my pod represents which color? This one. My pod inside which application running? Python. Clear now? So, my application running on which port number? This application running on which port number? 80. Target port represents your application running inside the pod. Clear now? Clear now? Okay. Next. Here, the person is accessing 192.168.1.10, right? This is which port? So which IP this is? Anyone? Okay, you tell me one thing. This is enter is what? This is enter is what? Huh? Worker node. See, node. Means what? EC2. Now enter is EC2. My EC2 contains what? Pod. Clear? Request access through what here? Node IP. Right or not? This is, I think, wrongly given. Anyway. So now you can see this is target port and this is what? Node port. If you access application node IP plus node port, you are able to access pod. Clear? But in between node port to target port, we have a one more service. This is play a very important role here. Your request is redirecting into pod. Understand? So, for example, if this service is not there, if you access node IP node port, your request is not redirecting into target port. In the Kubernetes, request will redirect with the help of service only. Clear? So this service in between your node and pod work like a medium to redirect your request into target pod. Same like a load balancer concept in AWS. Proxy, right? If someone can access your application through load balancer, that is redirecting into server. Load balancer is service or server? Service. Same. I'm talking about service only. Okay. So service port number, when you access a node port number, the request will go to service first. Service is already connect with target pod. So redirecting into target pod. And a very important thing here, target pod port number will change based on the application, right? If it is Nginx 80, Node.js 3000, it will change based on the application. What about service port? Service port, a recommendation is follows the target port also, no problem. You can give any number service port, no problem. The service link with this port based on the labels, not the port number. You can give any port, but easily managing thing, service port should follow target port number. My target port is 3000. Service port also follow 3000, nothing wrong. Instead of giving different port numbers. But what about this port? Node port. So node port range is 30,000 to 32,686 something. Node port range. 30,000 to 32,767. You should give any one of the port for node port range in between. So if you not give this port, system will take automatically any one of the port in between the range for node port. So what I'm trying to say, when you create a service by selecting a node port, 3 port entries are required. Target port where application is running, service port in between node port and target port, and node port how to access application from external with help of public IP. This port number you can give any range in between 30,000 to 32,678, or you can leave it system allocate any one of the range in between port number. Clear the concept? This is node port concept. If it is a load balancer concept, type equal to load balancer, not node port. This node port is not required. You are accessing through load balancer, right? Load balancer accept the request redirecting into service. The service is redirecting into target port. Clear the concept now? Yes. That's what I'm saying. Service port equal to target port. Yes, you can give. Yeah, load balancer will create an AWS. Yes. Yeah. Read this. By default and for convenience, the target port is set to the same value as the port field. By convenience. By default and convenience, the Kubernetes control plane will allocate a port from range 30,000 to 32,767 if you not mention anything here. Clear this one also. Load balancer, if I open now, load balancer here something is missing. What was that? One field is missing. What was that? Node port. Why this is load balancer service, not node port service? If I go to cluster IP, here something is missing. What? We are giving only cluster IP, here also missing node port. It's internal communication. The service at AML only the difference. Type will change only. Cluster IP, load balancer, node port. Clear till here? Chalo, we can start the process. Okay, so git clone. Okay. You can give, that's what I'm saying. Service port you can give different also. But convenience you can give same, I'm saying only. I'm not saying this is rule. I'm not saying this is condition. Usually we are giving like that. Or you can change also, no problem. Any port. Okay. So guys, port range, normal port range, you can give anything. Kubectl apply -f dot if I give now. What will happen? All YAML files will be applied. Dot represent means current directory inside all YAML files. But I want to, sorry, the wrong path anyway. I should go to service. Okay. So I'm going to discuss on node port first. So kubectl apply if node port.yaml. So let's go to here, understand a services. This is the YAML file, node port. Deployment is creating 3 replicas. Nginx is an image. So target port is 80, port 80, node port is 30007. So let's go kubectl get svc service. RS is a replica set, right? Shortcuts. Deploy is a shortcut for deployment. SVC is for service. Service created or not? This is at the time of Kubernetes cluster, it will create this service for internal communication. This is I created. Which port number I have given? 30087. Port is port forward to 80. So let's go and check. So 30007 I have given. Which application is running? Nginx. So how to check? kubectl get pods. Okay. So it's a deployment YAML file, right? 3 replicas are running. How to access this pod? Public IP and 30007. This server public IP? Worker node. Pod is not running inside this server. Pod is running inside the worker node. You are accessing only. In this case, where should I go? Worker nodes. Clear? Clear? Okay. Now the thing is a very important I'm going to explain. Okay, let me take a first one instance. Security groups. So this is internally only routing, right? Source. I'm going to change. By creating through Terraform, we can give everything. Which port, which node and all. But CLI by default it will take, just we are giving command only. We are not specifying security groups and all, right? By default it will take. But Terraform end to end we can manage this process. Which security group, which rules and all. Okay. Let's access, not this one. Public IP. What is the port number? Clear now? Node public IP plus node port. So we need to change the security groups first. By default it is routing internally only. We need to change the external. Okay. And the thing is a very important thing. Wait, I will create a ALB tape also. Let me finish node port first. How to check my pods are running on which nodes? -o wide simple command. One pod is running 71, one pod is running 49. Clear or not? So what I'm going to explain on the concept now. Go to node port. Okay, here I'm going to reduce to 1. Okay, next kubectl apply -f nodeport.yaml. Clear? Service is unchanged, means no changes required service and right. Deployment side only changes are done. Now if I access kubectl get pods -o wide, only one node only, right? Now kubectl get nodes -o wide. Okay, so now you can see here, this is external IP, this is internal IP, external IP, internal IP. So what I'm going to do now, let's go to nodes, refresh. So open any one of the node. So check here, what is the internal IP, 71 or 49, or external IP also. This is the one, 71, internal IP. This is what? This is what? This is what? Hmm? Hmm? Okay, you tell me, one of the IP is for what? Server private IP, right? But I'm able to see one more private IP for what? Huh? Exactly. Pod IP. One pod is running in the node, right? It is showing pod IP. Okay. Okay. So let's see here. Internal IP is 71, and now let's check one more. $171. Am I checking correct one or not? Just wait. Kubectl describe so this is my pod, right? Let's describe this. Copy kubectl describe pod. Let's read from here. Okay, so node IP, clear now? Node IP is what? 49. It is showing internal, right? This one. Okay, let's check one more node IP. So this is not 49, right? So node IP is what? Internal node IP is what? 49. This is the one. Clear now? So your pod is allocated this node IP 49. Next is what? Pod IP is what? 192.168.39.66. Okay, let's come now a little bit down. Node IP. Yeah, clear. So now 66 is what? Pod IP, right? Let's go on here. So, okay, I'll show you one thing now. Next, kubectl get SVC. Okay, kubectl describe same command for every time. Copy, paste it. Yeah. So service endpoint is what now? Service endpoint is what? 192.168.39.66.80. This is which IP, guys? Huh? Pod IP. Service target endpoint is what? Pod IP port number. Understand now? If you access service is redirecting into pod IP pod port number. Right or not? How to access service? Depends on the service type. Load balancer or node port. Node port means how to access? Node IP, node port number. If you access, the request is redirecting into where? Service. Service is redirecting into where? Pod. Clear the concept now? Yeah. This is what? 10, 100, 100. Huh? Yeah. See, this is what now? Pod IP. Pod is running on with this IP running on with this node. Understand? 49 just now I discussed, right? This, if you access this is redirecting to where? This endpoint. Understand? This endpoint, why? This is pod. This is port number. Allocating node port is what? 30071. So in this case, you can access the 30007 port number along with the node IP that is redirecting into endpoint of your pod. Clear the concept now? So how to access now? Where the pod is registered here 49 here. This 49 IP is what? Public IP, this one. Now if I access 30007, getting response or not? Now the surprise thing is what here? I'm taking different node also. I'm taking this public IP now. You tell me if I able to access or not? Huh? My pod is not running in this port. My pod is not running in this node. My pod not running in this node. My pod is only one pod, right? Running on before node what I have access. But only one pod, but two nodes are there. Where the pod is scheduled on that node, IP and port I'm able to access. This is different node where the pod is not running. Clear or not? If I hit able to access or not? Able to access. Why? So this is, we have to understand main important thing. Kubernetes service works cluster level, not node level. Understand? Means what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So how service will work? This is two nodes, for example. Okay. These two nodes in between service will create. Okay. Service is not part of internal node. It's a part of cluster level. So control node is here. So for example, your pod is running here. Okay. Pod is running here. So my service endpoint is what, guys? Pod IP, port number, right or not? Service endpoint. Okay. If you are able to access this service, this is redirecting into pod IP and port number. Clear or not? So what I'm trying to do now. So this is, for example, port number is 192.168.1.2. This is what? Node IP. This is one more node IP. Clear now? So EC2. Node means EC2. Clear now? So user access this node IP and node port number 30001. So request is first go to where? From here request go to where? Go to where? Service. Clear? So I'm dividing three parts. One is service. Next is what? This is target. Clear now? So first request will go to node. Next request will go to where? Service. Yeah. Next request will go to where? Target is pod. So now the thing is, this IP 30001 is source for what? Service only, not for IP, not for pod directly. Understand? This is the source to communicate pod. For example, definitely pod should be there inside the service, inside the server, right or not? I mean, what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say, this server IP, this server port, but server target is not pod. Understand or not? If server target is pod, definitely pod should be there in the same server, right or not? But server target is what? If the request is entered into the server, the next target is what? Not pod, service. Request will go to service. Service target is what? Pod. Doesn't matter pod running on any node. Understand now? So service will check where the pod is running. It is redirecting. Clear? Now question to you. If I access same request with this node port IP, same port or different port? Node port is same or different? Same. Now tell me, this source redirecting into where now? Again same service. Service target is what? Again same pod. Clear the concept now? If service is a part of internal node, definitely should redirect into the same pod. Service works cluster level, not node level. Clear now? If the service is run node level, node is deleted, service also deleted. Service works cluster level, that redirecting into, you tell me one thing. Simple logic. Load balancer works server level? Does load balancer work server level? If does load balancer work server level, load balancer send traffic to same server always. Load balancer not works server level. It's a AZ level. Inside AZ any server is able to send, right? Here also. Service is not stick to specific node. Service is cluster level. cluster IP, sorry, node IP, node port. Which kind of concept is service concept? So here this concept is to access service, not a pod directly. Service endpoint is what? Pod IP port that will redirect here or here. That will take care by service. Clear? Now tell me if this is a load balancer service. Load balancer able to send traffic here and here also, right? Across nodes also, right? This pod is failed. What will happen? Send to this pod. Understand the concept? Yeah. That's what. Whenever you can enable a node port now, the node port is enabled for all the nodes, not only single node. Clear what I'm trying to say? Yes, specific port only. The port already you are giving where? The port already we are giving here. This is which port? Pod port, application port. This is which port? Service port. You are able to access service how? Through load balancer or node port. So doesn't matter this pod is scheduled on any node, still you are able to access any node IP. Why? Node IP is not directly mapped to pod. Okay, see this architecture. So by seeing this, if you can see here, first request enter into node. Next where? Service. Next where? Pod. Doesn't matter this pod running on any node. Service is able to redirect any node inside the cluster. Service works cluster level. So here target port is what? This one. Service port is what? This one. Node port is what? This one. Clear now? Mandatory. Service port is mandatory. Why? If service port is not there, one cluster, one service only will work. Understand or not? Next, I can use one more service for different port. I can get one more service for different port. Cluster level service, right? If port concept is not there, if you create a one, you can create server cluster level only one service only. Right or not? Clear? Okay. How to delete? Kubectl delete -f dot. Oh, spelling wrong now. Okay, deleted everything. Even you can check kubectl get pods, nothing is there. Clear node port concept. Next concept is what? Load balancer. Okay, let's run. First request will go to where? Load balancer type. First request will go to where? From the user level. User request first hit to where? Load balancer. Load balancer redirecting into service. Very good. Service redirecting into pod. This is the concept. Kubectl get SVC. What is this? Load balancer. Understand? Load balancer. So this load balancer, if I access remove S, I'm able to access Nginx. Service type, if you give load balancer means create a service, load balancer service. You can go and check North Virginia load balancers. See, one load balancer is created. I'm accessing now this one only. 10, 12. Understand? Yeah, to access this server, sorry, I'm not getting. Access this pod, this load balancer we can use, not server. If I hit load balancer, the request is redirecting into service. So here this is load balancer will come. If you hit redirecting into service, service is redirecting into node port. Here missing is what? Node port. In place of node port, we are creating a load balancer. So node IP is not exposing right now. Right or not? Node IP is not exposing. I want to give domain name. What should I do? Create a alias record route 53 for this load balancer. Who will create? Who will create a ALB? Kubernetes will create. By default, it will create. You no need to do anything. Kubernetes controller will create. No, that's what I'm saying. Node port is internal access only we can use. IP is exposing, right? If you give external people, they can understand your pods are running in this server only. So not security. This is what? Load balancer type. Clear? So this is a YAML file. Only type in place of type node port you can change load balancer. Cluster IP means what? Just to give here cluster IP. That's it. No need to do anything. Node port means give node port and give here node port entry. Even if you give or not also, by default node port will take. Cluster IP for internal communication, front end to back end to database only, not from external communications. Let's go and delete everything. If I delete YAML file automatically, load balance also will delete. You can check how fast it should delete. You can go and check, refresh, delete it. Still it is there, it will take time. Clear? Load balance is deleted already, but it is not updating here. Deleted. Next process is what? Cluster IP. kubectl apply -f cluster IP.yaml. Clear? Cluster IP inside also Nginx image only there, right? kubectl get svc. Not exposed to external. Then how to check whether application running or not? Very good. Curl. From where to run curl command? If I run curl, huh? Correct. Curl command should run inside worker node. Internal communication means what? Inside a worker node only, right? Not external. So can I give curl my app SVC? If I hit my service now, that will redirect into my pod only, right? Let's do it now. Any instance or specific instance? Any instance. I'm instead of any one of the node, right? Next curl. What should I do? HTTP. Give service name. My service name is what? My app. Why it is not coming? Let's wait. Okay, give cluster IP. Okay. Come to Nginx. Clear till here. Cluster IP is redirecting into pod IP endpoint, right or not? Even you can hit cluster IP once you create a node port also cluster also IP is there, right? kubectl describe SVC. You can hit curl cluster IP. That is also redirecting into your application. Clear the concepts? Difficult, huh? Confusing means we should practice. What you need to do? Understand we have a 3 services. Let's hit node port, how the request will travel. Describe command SVS, describe command node, describe command pod, understand, note down list of IPs and check your private IPs. Exploring the things only. Without exploring, simply git to clone, kubectl apply -f, access load balancer, getting output workings are done, sir. Problems will come. This is just sample only. A lot of things are there in Kubernetes. Lot of things. How then why they can easily give 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs? That's what. So only Kubernetes Docker skill set if you have a, not possible to learn in 3 months, 4 months, hands-on required. At least, okay, I'm okay to handle Kubernetes. That's what level you can reach. But not to, I can do any task in Kubernetes, like 8 years experience, not possible. Doing by multiple tasks only, you can earn the hands-on. Interview point of view, okay. Even I can say one thing, if customer is saying the requirement, you are able to understand. That level I will take you. 3 years, 4 years level, you can easily handle the task. But not like 8 years. You want 20 LPS, sir? Take it. Take it. Not easy to getting a job in IT now. Without hard work. Take it. Okay. 20 LP also fresher salary. No, 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 no. Fresher salary 4 LPA starts from. Clear? So we have a one platform. Okay. What I'm going to say here. So we have a one platform, guys. Killer Coda. Killer Coda. Here, this is a platform. You can practice Kubernetes with free of cost. Understand? Except load balancer, everything you can do it. Why load balancer is AWS service, right? This is not AWS, just a third party vendor. They're providing a practice a cluster. So you can practice first initial days here only. Don't create a cluster. Chargeable, right? So how to do this? Click on the playground. Killercoda.com. Click on the playground. Take Kubernetes 1.32 version, 2 nodes environment. Sign in to access the free. Okay, my GitHub. It's creating control plane directly. So this is a vendor where you can practice a Kubernetes. So for example, kubectl get nodes. How many nodes are there? How many worker nodes? How many control nodes? One worker node, one control node. This is not managed service AWS, right? They're giving practice. So you can start same practice. Create a one file. So you can deploy something. This is what load balance. Okay. Copy. Paste it. Kubectl. Apply. I no need to be free of cost. Delete it. So created. Kubectl get pods. Creating mode. Creating. Still creating. Container is creating only one. After running, one more one. So running right now. Kubectl get svc. Okay. So can I run curl command now? Instant response, right? Not required AWS cluster. Practice purpose only I'm saying that. You can practice here better. First few days. You may forget to delete a cluster means it will be generatable. Understand? Yeah. This is Killer Coda where you can practice. Any questions? But load balancer not work here. Load balancer not created. Cluster IP you can. But you know how to access, right? Just give curl cluster IP only. If you want to deploy anything to access and all. Clear? So be active in group. Any questions? No questions from online. I'm not using ECR image, public image. This is Nginx public. You can give just image name only. Go to ECR, take a URI path, give here. Before that, write a Docker file, build a image, push image. Take that ECR path, give here. Enough. Nothing to do. Very easy Kubernetes and Docker. Normal process is too difficult. Deployments and all. Monolithic approach. This is simple. Write a YAML file, write a Docker file. Enough. 100 applications, 100 Docker files, 100 Docker files, 100 YAML files, 100 service YAML files to access. Enough. You no need to worry about load balancers, no need to worry about infrastructure, everything managing. Create a 2 nodes, enough. You no need to do anything. But my simple question, think and tell me tomorrow. My load balancer, how able to accept the request from external? Understand? My load balancer, how accepting external request? In this case, Kubernetes is going to create a public load balancer. Huh? Is any concept public load balancer, private load balancer directly? What is the concept external load balancer, internal load balancer? Public subnets. Very good. If you give public subnets, that is external load balancer. If you give private subnet, internal load balancer. Then how my load balancer is accepting external request? Huh? That means Kubernetes automatically create a public load balancer, not private load balancer. How? How Kubernetes knows I should create a public load balancer, I should create a private load balancer. I mean internal load balancer. Tell me one thing. If I create a cluster always private subnets only we should create. Cluster inside private subnets only it will run. Inside VPC, inside private subnets, nodes will run, nodes inside pods will run. In that VPC, where the cluster is running, if there is no public subnets, clear what I'm trying to say? I have created one VPC, created 2 private subnets, created a cluster in the 2 private subnets. One node is created in one private subnet, one node is created in one private subnet for high availability, disaster recovery. Inside the nodes, pods will run with help of Kubernetes. Now I have given service type is load balancer. Load balancer definitely will create. But the load balancer will create public subnets inside or private subnets inside. Maya no public subnets, right? Then that load balancer, internal load balancer, external load balancer. Huh? Internal load balancer. See, the background network will decide whether it is a public load balancer or private load balancer. Where the Kubernetes is running, in that region VPC, we should create minimum 2 public subnets. Otherwise, load balancer is not accessible from external. Clear the condition? Same manual process only, but Kubernetes is taking care of behalf of you. So make it ready network for Kubernetes. Clear? I have an Gila answer, right? Anyway, bye. Every day attend the sessions is a very interesting sessions Kubernetes, sir.